Welcome back, Lego builders, and thank you for visiting mocs. So I'm gonna go over some techniques that I use to build Helms Deep. This is not an update. This instead is more of a tutorial, or I'm gonna show you all how I build this monster mock, because I think some of you might want to see how I build it, because probably some of you are Lego fans or some of you are just subscribers who like to look at my models. So I'm going to show you some techniques that I use. So my first technique that I use is stacking. This is probably my biggest technique that I use for my models. It's also my favorite. Stacking is basically stacking. You're stacking Lego bricks. Very, very thick. What I love about stacking, I'm only showing this because everything else is covered up. Stacking is a good way to make your models as firm as a rock. So when you go and see your other models, you'll see that they have, like, they'll say I used plastic or something to put into my model to make it strong. Well, I don't do that. I use bricks like this. I do not use the same color of bricks. I use random bricks mainly because I use them for hollow parts of my model to make them as firm as a rock. See, I'll show you some under my model right here. So, basically, yes, stacking is meant to make your models as firm as a rock. It's just stack upon stack, and basically, when you stack your bricks like this, if you try and shake it or pull it apart, your model comes apart. It is that effective. So yes, that's why I love stacking. Stacking is used throughout my model, like I just put under here. I just showed you under here. Here's some more right here, and under, and even in the bridge right here. Not much in the Hamburg at all. Just under here, the Hamburg. So stacking, I'm also using it for right here. You can see it through there. It's everywhere for Helms Deep. I'm also using the same technique for Scarif, because Scarif it wouldn't be good if it was just flimsy and all that. So that's what I use to support. That's my main one. The next one I'm gonna use is called the staircase effect. Alright, so this is what I call the staircase effect. I used it for the bridge. Now if you watch the two towers, the bridge for Helms Deep is more of an angle, such as this. Right here, that kind of goes all the way down. Well, I thought it would kind of look ugly with this model, and it would kind of not really fit in well. So I made it like stairs. I basically got plates like these, and I stacked them up. Alright, I'm going to tell you right now, this is a very piece-consuming technique. It works, but it's piece-consuming. It's basically stack, 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 stack. It gives it a look kind of like stairs, but it also gives away the effect that it might be at an angle, like an angled wall. So it's very effective. One of the things that I like about it is that, well, it really works. It fits in with models. That's why I really, really enjoy the model. Yeah, so very piece consuming. It can take up a lot of time and space. The next technique I'm going to show you all is called the floor wall effect. Okay, the floor wall effect is not used anywhere else in this model besides the Hamburg. I made it where instead of bricks, I made tiles for the Hamburg all the way up. Mainly because if I used bricks, it would be way, way, way too piece consuming. So I used tiles instead, and as you can see, it fits in perfectly. That's what I love about it. So it's basically plates like this, stacked alongside with these, I'm gonna call them pins, with these flat pieces on the bottom, and it's basically pins holding everything up, and goes all the way up. What you want to do is for your models, the first thing you want to do is determine whether or not is it going to be like messed up and old, kind of like this, with a bunch of other plates stacked on it, or is it going to be nice and kind of like a new building? So this works effectively, and it's also a great way to conserve bricks. Like, let's say you have more tiles than bricks and you want to build a castle, well, this is an awesome way. You just gotta, the trick is just trying to make it fit in with the other bricks. So the next technique I'm going to show you is called the uneven floor. The uneven floor, possibly one of like the best things you can ever do for any model, any. Uneven floor gives an extremely great touch to any model. You mainly want to use it for battles. You do not want to use it for like cities, unless the city's being attacked or something. No, you want to make it like uneven for like, let's say a planet or like a space mock, or such as a castle attack or something against a mountain. This is what you would use. It's kind of like stacking, except you put it alongside to make it kind of look like also the staircase effect. It's kind of like a mixture of both. That's the technique I use for the floor, because not only does it give a great touch to this model, it's just usually when floors are flat and then there's an elevated surface, unless it looks like a really cleaned castle, unlike Helms Deep, it is not a really good technique. You would want to use this technique instead. That's what makes it so effective, and it just looks awesome. I'm going to show you guys something called the double wall effect. So the double wall effect is something that many builders use. Besides stacking, this is probably the second best. Makes it like, have you seen those models where there's only one wall, there isn't another wall behind it doing extra support? I see it mostly in Lego sets, where it's kind of like right here, where it's kind of like one wall's holding the entire thing up. That's useful. It's a great way to conserve bricks, but if you're wanting to transport a Lego model, you might want to kill that idea, because if you want to, even if it's you're using tons upon tons of pieces for a model, and it is very piece consuming, would you rather have a model that is much bigger, but it's not as cool? It's not as cool when you use two times more pieces for the walls. I would go with 2 times more pieces for the walls, because sturdy. You can place minifigures, you can drive it around, you can take it to showcases, everything. You want to use that technique a bunch, mainly because it's awesome. You want to kind of make it sturdy but kind of look good as well. But sturdiness is the main thing that every model needs. So I'm going to go on to something called the height times width technique. Okay, the height times width technique is probably an extremely good one. Not many builders use it. What I do is I look at a model and say, is something too tall or is something too wide? That's a mistake that many builders do. They don't think about their bases, and they say something is like, let's say this tower was all the way up touching the ceiling. That would be a little bit too tall. It would seem more like a tower than a castle, because the wall would look extremely small. And then let's say the tower was right here to the castle. It would seem too wide. You kind of want to measure your castle and kind of think about in your head, would it look good or would it look bad? You want to kind of do measurements in your head. I do not like math, but this is something that you should probably try. So thank you everyone for watching this video on techniques I use for Helms Deep. I might do one on Scarif, but I think I started Scarif like a week ago, so I can't do many technique videos yet because I just started. Thank you for visiting Jack Mocs. Subscribe and like this video. Thank you.